Well, there's more Derby County rumours heading into this summer transfer window, and this one, in my opinion, is a massive one. Taking it away from a League One promotion rival from last season to potentially improve our squad heading into 2024-25 in a championship campaign. And the player I'm talking about, you'll know from the title and thumbnail, is Josh Sheehan. There's been rumours that Derby County are linked with the player, and I'm going to get into it all now. I'm going to talk about Josh Sheehan and whether the deal is even a possibility heading into this 24-25 season. Now, this is where I'm getting the interest from. And it says in the article, Josh Sheehan's future at Bolton Wanderers is uncertain with just 1 year left on his contract and the Rams interested in signing him. Now, Josh Sheehan is a very impressive player in my opinion. I was really impressed seeing him for Bolton Wanderers this season, and I do think he's a player who could add a lot to our midfield. Now, obviously, at the time of recording this, which is the 5th of June, he would instantly slot into the midfield. He'd be arguably the best player in our midfield because we only have Liam Thompson and Tyrese Forner. There's a lot of bodies that need to be brought into that midfield so that we are able to play a 3 or a 2, whichever we decide to do. Obviously, at the moment, Louis Sibley's contract is undecided as I'm recording this video. If things change over the next few days, then that's going to be a massive, massive conversation. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner to stay tuned for all my latest Derby County, EFL and European Championship news and updates as it goes on. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like this video as it helps boost the channel to new viewers, and let me know your thoughts on this squad down in the comments. I think it was absolutely an amazing season, just to fall short of the final hurdle, really hurt, but what a massive season with the likes of Mount, Tamori and Wilson. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments and I'll get back to you in the next part of this video. Now, if we do go in to Josh Sheehan, you obviously now know who he is. He plays at Bolton Wanderers. He is a Welsh international and he is 29 years old. His contract does expire in 2025. So the big question will be, how much will this deal cost? Now, if we do go into his career, he's played for 4 clubs in total: Swansea, Yeovil Town, Newport County and Bolton Wanderers. Over those clubs, he's made 325 appearances, totaling to nearly 24,000 minutes. He scored 28 goals with 33 assists. 12 of those assists coming in the last season, and 2 of the goals coming in the last season as well, with 49 yellow cards and just 1 red card. Now, he spent the majority of his time at Newport County, where he made 179 appearances with 15 goals and 15 assists over his time there. And then he spent the second most amount of time at Bolton Wanderers with 107 games, 10 goals and 17 assists. He spent time at Yeovil Town, where he played 29 games, scoring twice. And obviously he spent time at Swansea City, where he played 9 times for the under-21s with 1 goal and 1 assist, and also made a senior appearance for Swansea. Now, I think Josh Sheehan doesn't really have to prove anything to get into a championship midfield. I think he's more than capable. I think he's really shown what he's capable of at Bolton Wanderers. And I think if Bolton Wanderers are to let him go, I can't see it being very cheap. Now, if we do go on to the positions that he can play all through the centre of the park, and also has the ability to play at either wing-back role or across a flat 4 in midfield. Now, obviously, if Derby County were to bring him in, they'd play him in that central midfield to defensive midfield role, where he's played over 200 times within his career, and he's played 60 appearances at attacking midfield as well. So that is also a possibility which Derby County could look into. Now, I think this would be an absolutely magnificent sign. It would really add to the depth that we have in midfield. Obviously, as of recording this video on the 5th of June, Sibley and Collins still haven't renewed their contracts. We haven't heard any more about any potential signings, although we are getting to that time period where I do believe that Derby County will start to make moves. There's been a lot of talk recently about the goalkeeper position. There's been a lot of talk about the midfield area as well. So this is something which I can see Derby County really strengthening. And I do think that Sheehan would go in as the first choice midfielder. I think it would be a Thompson and Sheehan midfield if he was to come in so far. And obviously, that's a massive deal. It'd be a real improvement on the squad we have so far. So that is something which I believe it would be absolutely massive for Derby County. Now, What type of deal would be available for Derby County in getting Josh Sheehan to the club? Now, it has to be a fee-based deal between Bolton and Derby County. Now, I could see that fee being anywhere between £500,000 to £1 million because he has a year left on his contract. He's a really important player for them. But the discussion really comes about, does he want to sign a new contract? Because we saw with Derby County last season with the likes of Jason Knight and Erin Cashin and Max Bird that if a player wants to sign a new contract, you can get more money. Like Erin Cashin, we had, I think it was a £4.5 million bid last summer from Brighton for him, which I thought was a lot of money for a player with a year left on his contract. And he ended up not going through, but we got nearly we could have got nearly £4.5 million for him. And then you have with Jason Knight, a player who didn't want to renew his contract, but we activated his optional extension and ended up getting anywhere between £1 and £2 million, depending on what your source is. So I think it really changes the conversation. We then also have Max Bird, who I believe the deal is in the region of £1 to £2 million with Bristol City, but then obviously we took him back on loan. Did that fee reduce because of the loan? That's a big question. So it's one of those things where if Sheehan wants to renew his contract at Bolton Wanderers, you're automatically looking, for me, towards the £1 million mark. And I personally don't think we'll spend that type of money on a singular player. You obviously look at Ebu Adams, who's a potential signing for Derby County this summer, who contract is expiring at the same time as Josh Sheehan and also adds midfield quality to the squad. And Ebu Adams is looking at around £250,000, and I believe he's a year or two younger than Sheehan, so it will be interesting to see what type of deal Derby County cook up if they do go in for Josh Sheehan. Is it going to be a Stephen Pearce masterclass? Are we going to pull off a steal? Because obviously Sheehan does offer that midfield quality that Derby County are dying out for, offers assists, he can find the back of the net, he can dictate play, and I think that's something that Derby County have lost in Corey Smith. So obviously, I think with this deal, with him being the age he is, I think we've got to be careful how much we do spend, because it's one of those deals that you could spend £1 million and he could end up losing his legs over the next 2 years and then you're out of pocket. Or you could spend £500,000 and he could be absolutely brilliant for the next 4 years. So it's one of those where it's going to be really interesting to see how it is handled by the coaching staff and recruitment team at Derby County if it is a deal which Derby County do go in for. Obviously, the link to Josh Sheehan is a conversation topic, and Bolton Wanderers fans love Sheehan and Sheehan, whatever it is, and I can understand why. I think he's a very, very good player. I think he offers a lot in a midfield, whether that be a 3 or a 2. He can really dictate the tempo, really dictate the play. He's got no problems receiving the ball off centre halves, which I think is absolutely massive when you go up to that championship level, because sometimes you have to receive the ball deep and bring it forward rather than getting it up and out like Paul Warne does like to do. It's going to be very interesting to see how the style of play develops over this transfer window. It's going to be massively important to see what happens. There's been a lot of talk that a couple of deals are already done for Derby County. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about Ebu Adams, obviously with Cardiff City now announcing their manager. Does that sort of open the door for Derby County to make that deal happen? There's obviously been a lot of talk as well about Bobby Clark potentially signing for the club and Daniel Iverson, who I made a video on just a few days ago. Have not checked that out, do go and do so. But for me, I think this deal for Josh Sheehan could be absolutely massive. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this deal. Do you think it's one that can get done? Do you think he's one who fits Paul Warne's style of football? Let me know your thoughts down below. Smash the like button, as it really does help boost the channel to new heights. Hit the subscribe button while you're down there. Turn on that notification bell to stay tuned with all my latest Derby County, EFL and European 2024 Championship content as we head towards the start of the Euros this Friday. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for all my latest content. And I'll now let you get on with the rest of your day. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.